Hello, it's almost 2 p.m. and our authors will be arriving soon. We want to make sure that you get the full effect of the collaboration. So we ask that you please silence all gabbing at this time. There will be a 15-minute intermission after the second scene of Act 1. During that time, there will be some refreshments for you. Thank you again so much for coming, and please enjoy the show.
Damn it!
What happened?
I fell over something.
Where are you?
The hell should I know? It's like the black hole of Calcutta.
Shall I send to St. Bernard?
I think I'm in a dressing room.
There's a light over this way.
Well, follow the gleam.
I found it.
What?
The gleam. I'm in a living room. It's straight out of Dracula.
Well, as long as there's electricity.
There's the most marvelous little chair. It's exactly what we need in the hall. You know that space that's next to the
Jessica, it's disconcerting to find you more interested in furniture than your lost husband.
Stay where you are, darling. I'll flick on the lights.
That shows a level head.
Nothing happened.
Just keep talking. I'll find you.
What will I say?
Ow!
You're getting closer.
Keep talking. Count.
Oh, dear. B3, N27, under the O64.
Bingo.
Darling, you made it! After all this time, you found me. But you've aged. Oh, yes, you have. Silver threads and all that.
Don't give me any of your outdated dialogue. Just an apology.
For what?
For not taking my advice and waiting until the others got here.
But it puts us a giant step ahead of them to see this room first. Now, you sit down over there, and I'll find the lights.
You said they didn't work.
Well, there must be a master switch somewhere, one of those enormous big levers.
I wouldn't venture out there if I were you.
I'm perfectly all right. The light board is always near the stage somewhere. Ow!
Good. We're even.
I hope you've kept up my Blue Cross.
Medicare takes you over in October.
Ha ha.
My God, this is a dreary place.
It's supposed to be. Shh, here we are.
Find it?
There may some little switches. Ready?
Go ahead.
How's that?
Marvelous. If I were Laurence Olivier, I'd never forgive you. Try another.
This is number 5.
It's green. You've made me look like Lon Chaney.
Oh, here it is. It's a big lever. Here we go.
Oh, Jessica, this is a dreadful room.
It's an exact reproduction, so Summers said. Oh, you're right. I wouldn't be caught dead here.
Well, many people have been.
Oh, that's good, Whitney. Your sense of humor is coming back. Now what will we do?
Silly girl, have a martini.
What a whoppingly brilliant idea.
I thought you might like it.
Here, hold these.
You know, I suppose it does look like a living room.
Well, except the furniture's all wrong.
It's depressing, but it's right for the set, I gather.
No, I mean, it's placed wrong. Hasn't that ever annoyed you? Everything's facing out there.
Well, it has to. That's where the audience is.
I know that. God, you're stupid. I mean, if this were a real living room, the furniture would be in clusters.
Conversational units, as you call them?
That's right. Olive?
Naturally. If the furniture weren't facing the audience, then they wouldn't see the actors' faces.
Which would be a lot better in some cases.
Naturalistic theater, isn't it called?
Like that dreary little thing we saw off Broadway.
Oh, parts of it were enjoyable.
You are a dirty old man.
Granted,
Whoever would invest in a nude version of Hedda Gabler?
other dirty old men. Now, what should we drink to?
Well, the project, of course.
Good idea,
Here's to death, murder, violence, and mayhem.
but with sophistication.
With sophistication. Cheers.
Cheers. Now everything is right with the world.
Whitney!
Do that.
Sorry, darling, but I suddenly thought of something chaotic. What happens if we don't like the others?
One can't like everyone.
We signed the contract.
It's good money.
You always have exactly the right phrase at the right time.
Even if we don't like everyone, it'll be good to get back to work again. Me sitting at the typewriter, you pacing back and forth, trading ideas.
Bickering is what you mean.
We don't really bicker, darling. Sometimes, perhaps, we have a slight disagreement.
Like the time you wanted to hurl a hatchet into that girl's back?
Aren't you ever going to forget that?
It was such a bloody idea. Our readers would have closed the book then and there. From us, they expect pleasant murders. A simple poison, a quick shot in the dark, even a polite stab in the back if it's genteel, like with a hat pin. But hatchets. Really, Whit, you must have been drinking early that day.
I was trying to change the pattern.
You don't change a pattern that pays off.
Paid off.
Paid off. But people still read our books, don't they?
In the dentist office, when they're through with National Geographic.
Well, we have enough to be more than comfortable the rest of our lives, and I don't regret one moment of it. But you're right, I'm getting excited about working again.
It's time our style came back into vogue anyhow.
We really brought murder to a new high, didn't we? We were like an art gallery. All these new ones are like butcher shops.
I really wish someone else would get here. I feel rather stupid sipping a martini in an empty sound studio.
Oh, it'll soon be bustling with authors, don't worry. They certainly make these sets realistic, don't they?
That's the point.
It's just canvas. I could swear it was a wall. And that ceiling, I suppose it's for acoustics.
Probably. Hello! See, no echo.
Hello!
My voice is changing.
Over here, follow the gleam.
Be right with you. This is a gloomy vault, isn't it?
Wait until you get where we are.
It's a woman.
I bet it's Mildred Maxwell.
Oh, I made it. Oh, those lights are bright, aren't they?
Stand in the right color and it will take 10 years off you.
Nothing could do that, short of a visit to Lourdes. How do you do? I'm Mildred Z. Maxwell.
We've read everything that you've ever written.
Oh, well, thank you, dear. A few million more like you, and I wouldn't have to be here now. You must be Mrs. Summers.
Wrong.
Oh, I hate to be wrong.
I'm Whitney Olive, and this is my wife, Jessica.
Of course, I should have known. The martinis.
Would you like one?
Oh, never drink on a job, dear. Coagulates the mind. And let me say, I have read everything you've ever written.
Now we're even.
But I had no idea you were so like your books.
In what way?
I mean, every one of your murders started with a charming couple sipping a martini, and then things happened. It was like a trademark.
We have to maintain the image.
Besides, we happen to enjoy martinis.
So do I. But unfortunately, I never made a career out of it. Well, where are the others?
No one else has come yet.
Honestly now, what do you think of this whole thing?
Should be delightful fun if we don't all end up fighting.
Every bee to his own bonnet, as I always say.
I wondered what you always said.
Oh, you are like your books. How marvelous. I wish I were. I try to be, but it never comes off somehow.
How do you mean?
I mean, every one of my characters is so thoroughly organized, and my plots so spectacularly logical. But in reality, I have trouble balancing my checkbook. You'd never think it from my stories, would you?
Certainly not. Those murders are brilliantly plotted. They're like a geometry problem. Now, many's the time I've said to Jess, we could use more of your ingenuity.
Oh, and many's the time I've wished for your comic flair for the urbane.
Whitney, this collaboration is going to be perfect. We're getting along like a house of fire already.
Mutual respect. That's what all authors should have.
Especially mystery authors who are dated.
Nonsense. We're not dated. Your stories are still as alive and thrilling as ever.
But we only hinted at sex and we avoided violence whenever possible.
And mine are timeless. The unusual murder, the interfering detective, and then call everyone into the room and give them the answer. That's the basis of all murder books.
Well, not anymore. Take our characters, for example. Rich, sophisticated, always from the 400. What do you read nowadays? Pick up any murder mystery, and every girl has bosoms the size of watermelons, and rich, creamy thighs. I never wrote any girls like that.
He may have thought it, but he never wrote it.
We'll come back, my dears. Just hang on to your typewriter. The pendulum is swinging. Even the sexy CIA agent with all those super weapons is out. I'll bet Barb Benedict hasn't sold 1,000 copies of her latest.
I get my royalty statement next month, but I think you may be right.
Oh, there I go again, sticking my foot in it right up to the knee.
It's okay, it's true.
How do you do? I'm
I know who you are. I know who both you are. You're the Olives. I love that name. It goes so well with martinis. And Miss Maxwell. A pleasure.
And you're Barb Benedict, the author who brought the transistor radio to the pencil and the camera to the cigarette lighter.
It was good while it lasted.
We were all complimenting each other on our murders. Would you care to join in?
Am I to compliment my idols?
I like that.
Without you stalwarts of the murder mystery, I never would have had my short-lived career. I learned everything from you.
Oh, now that's a nice speech, dear. Sit down and join us.
And have a martini.
My pleasure.
Just a handful, please.
Don't underestimate my wife. Jess, a glass?
I always carry a spare for guests.
Johnson Summers isn't here yet?
No, just the three of us. One thing we've already decided, they may expect it, but we are not going to fight. We'll collaborate peacefully and make a fortune.
I'm all for that.
Just to clear the air, dear, I must tell you there's something about you that I hate. It's not the modern style that you use. I'll concede that, since you have a dynamic flair. It's your name.
What's wrong with it?
The two B's. I hate authors who have alliterative names.
Well, what about yours?
Well, I predate you, unfortunately.
But you switched your name around, Mildred. I read it somewhere.
That damn Reader's Digest.
You were born Zelda Mildred and changed it to make Mildred C. Maxwell.
Besides, Barb Benedict is my real name. In fact, it's Barbara Beverly Benedict. Are you ready for that?
I concede.
Here's to you. Good. You can never get them dry enough these days.
Well, Wit has the secret.
What?
Well, I pour the gin into the thermos, and then close it up. And then I walk into the next room and whisper the word vermouth.
Say, this is a dreary old room, isn't it?
My agent told me it's an exact replica of the one on the island, but they're going to shoot the script here.
After we write it.
I hope we all work quickly. I hate to belabor murder.
I once did one of my best books, The Golden Mummy Case, in 6 days.
You must have worked non-stop.
No, I had hives and I couldn't sleep.
Well, there's no reason why we can't pop this thing out in a few days. I gather they want each of us to have a little of our own thing in the story so it will appeal to everyone.
Some producer's smart idea.
My dears, we'll show them. We are not through yet.
Show who? I think we're being stood up.
Someone's bound to come along soon. Only Summers and Ducton left.
Say, whatever happened to Rodney Ducton?
Oh, that sounds like a movie title, doesn't it? Whatever happened to Rodney Ducton?
No, really, I thought he was dead.
Oh, I'm sure he's not. I always read the obituary page first thing in the morning. It's a sign of age.
Now, he was an author who switched styles all right. After all those horror movie things, in the 30s he introduced Jack Clubb.
And made a mint, dear, with all those hard-hitting private eye stories. He probably just retired to an island in the Caribbean.
I hope he has a better house than this one.
The real this one, you mean?
She is getting cryptic.
One thing I'll say for Ducton's books, though, they always had a good shock element in them.
Certainly kept the readers awake.
You never knew when you were going to come upon a surprise!
scare you, really. I just want to make an entrance, so I came around this way. Miss Maxwell, this is indeed a pleasure. I was just rereading The Case of the Black-Eyed Turtle last week. I do admire your structure.
I wish someone admired my structure.
I do, dear.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Mr. Dupton, after all of these years, we finally meet. I am Whitney Olive. This is my wife, Jessica.
A tremendous fan of yours. Tremendous.
Thank you. And Miss Maxwell, you seem to know.
I kept that cover story in time about her. Of course, it was 20 years ago, and she has changed somewhat.
And when did you leave Shangri-La?
I detect a note of bitterness, which is not apparent in your writing. And this is Barb Benedict.
How are you, sir?
Oh, a pity.
What is?
Well, you're me. Younger, of course, but you took what I wrote in the 30s and added a few transistors, addressed a few women, and made astoundingly good royalties for a while.
That time was a few years ago.
So, we're all going to be working together. I must admit, I'm looking forward to it, trading ideas, plots. When do we start?
As soon as Summers gets here. We've been waiting so long, the tide in my martini thermos is getting low.
Intriguing room, isn't it?
Dreary, I call it.
Oh, what I could have done with this in my horror days. A sliding panel here, a groping hand there, the beautiful girl seated at the desk, footsteps coming down the corridor. She turns, screams! But that doesn't scare anyone anymore. Pity.
Your Jack Club would hit the monster over the head with the butt of his gun.
Another era Jack Club. Warner Brothers made a good thing out of him, but who and what are current now?
Nothing. That's why we're all here.
So, what do we do now?
If anyone else says that, I shall call a cab and go home.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jocelyn Summers. We'll be contacting your respective agents.
So glad you can make it.
We've been waiting for
Finally
you.
meet you.
I purposely came a little late to let you all get acquainted. Clever idea, wasn't it? Actually, the vice president in charge of the news show suggested it. Can't take all the credit now, can I?
Why not?
They find out. Jealousy, you know. Now, shall we get started? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WMT Studios.
Who is she talking to?
I don't know.
It is our pleasure to invite you to join us in a short experimental evening in crime.
She's not speaking to us.
Down through the ages, murder and mayhem have fascinated each and every one of us.
Maybe she's psychotic.
So tonight, we have brought together the outstanding mystery writers of their time.
Miss Summers.
It is our
Miss
idea-
Summers.
Excuse me. Yes, Mr. Dupton.
We're all wondering one thing.
What?
Who the hell are you talking to?
To the audience.
What audience?
Out there!
Oh, good God, she's right. There are people out there.
My God.
And I look a fright.
Miss Summers, what is the meaning of this?
Is this a joke?
Didn't your agents tell you there would be an audience?
Of course not. If I'd known, I'd have worn black tie.
Perhaps this is an oversight on my part. However, there's no harm done, is there? This is just an experiment. More of a game, really.
Murder is hardly a game. We all have made a career out of it.
Oh, please, sit down. Let me explain.
I'm no good in front of audiences. People make me nervous.
I think we should all go home.
No, I'm fascinated. Let's hear her out.
They do look like nice people. There's just so many of them.
Sorry about this delay, but authors are temperamental too, the same as actors and everyone else connected with the creative arts. As I was saying, look at these 5 people, ladies and gentlemen. What do you see? Genius, that's what you see. 5 brains which have been dedicated to murder.
Don't tempt us.
WMT has brought together at great expense these five minds to collaborate and become one to bring you the greatest mystery series of all time, what we hope will be television's finest hour. Now, let me introduce them to you, the faces behind the book jackets, as it were.
Did she write her own material?
Jessica and Whitney Olive, authors of over 30 bestsellers, former joint presidents of the Crime Writers League, and the darling of the International Society. You may applaud if you wish.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how I feel being here.
Mildred C. Maxwell, specialist in the surprise ending. Woman who's kept us up at night waiting for the final page in her latest mystery.
I'm constantly thinking of a new way to kill people.
Barb Benedict, the woman who modernized the spy, whose heroes are hard-hitting and perform with noble as Barb, whether it's with the enemy or a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And finally, Rodney Dupton, the gentleman who terrified us when we were young with such monsters as the creeping fiend, the crawling hand, and the ghoulish girl, and who later went on to create the master private eye of the 30s, the one and only two-fisted and two-gun Jack Club.
It was nothing really, see, just an extension of
Oh, do
myself.
sit down.
It is my idea, or rather the idea of WMT Studios,
Watch that or you'll get fired.
to combine these talents, to put a little Maxwell here, a splash of Benedict there, a dose of Dupton, a few dashes of olives, and come up with a tossed salad of murder.
Lock that metaphor.
This stage setting, which you see before you, is an exact reproduction of the living room of Vulture's Vault.
Does everything have to be alliterative?
From the time the Buccaneers sailed the Spanish Main, there has been a house on a small island off Jamaica that has been shrouded in mystery. That house is called Vulture's Vault. That famous pirate Redbeard built to a slave labor, stored his riches there, and died in the very room we have copied for you. During the 20s, Vulture's Vault served as a storage depot for liquor being run illegally into the United States. Sold in 1931 to Morgan Fitzbee, it is the island where the multi-millionaire recluse met his unfortunate end, a knife protruding from his back.
This dialogue is terrible.
Miss Maxwell, I am not a successful author like you. Your turn will come.
If she doesn't stop talking soon, the audience will leave.
Hang on, it can't get much worse.
If there's any reviewers out there, that's what's known as a quotable line.
As you can see, we're all very informal at this gathering. Tonight our authors will spend some time getting acquainted with each other and their working methods. It will just be a little fun.
I hate games.
Well, I'd rather fancy myself at cribbage.
Mr. Dupton,
Sorry.
immediately following our show, our 5 authors will be flown to the Caribbean, where tomorrow they will travel by small boat to Vulture's Vault. There, ladies and gentlemen, they will create stories of suspense, intrigue, and murder, a series rivaled by none in the history of television. Dear, rather expected a little applause there.
And another copywriter's head will fall.
Do be quiet, darling. This might be fun.
The series will be shot here on this very set with the leading actors of the bygone era. WMT is going to bring back stars who, along with these authors, you've almost forgotten.
You've got to be kidding.
Authors, please.
No, we used to have manners.
Oh, that's it.
Let me remind you of the ironclad contracts our lawyers have drawn up.
My lawyer can give me that money.
And the salaries you're being
You
paid.
don't need the money.
And the fact that your combined sales in the last 2 years has not equaled 1 month of the country's bestseller, Sex for Profit.
Is the thermos empty?
I can drink hemlock.
The club would blast his way out of here.
Should have planted a homing device on our last week.
Now, for our get acquainted game, the envelope.
This is too much.
Price Waterhouse is everywhere.
Inside here are 12 slips of paper. Each slip has one word on it. That word is the motive. There are such things as lust, greed, money, etc. I shall have you, Miss Maxwell, take one paper.
I like password better.
Then you can toss around the motive till you come up with a plot. We shall watch your minds mesh together at your first collaboration. Isn't this exciting?
Are we allowed to answer?
No. Then, with this, and the publicity you shall get when you all arrive at Vulture's Vault, the series will be pre-sold
When do we start work?
the day after you arrive. After an early morning press conference, then you will be left completely alone to create.
Wait a minute. Who creates in the kitchen? The only thing I do properly is quiche Lorraine.
Oh, what cheese do you use? Swiss or Gruyere?
Well, Gruyere, of course.
You will have the proper menu of service. Your only responsibility is to bring back 13 plots in 3 weeks. All right, Miss Maxwell, draw a motive.
This is deadlier than the draft lottery.
Read it, please.
Murder Jocelyn Summers.
I beg your pardon.
Just trying for a little humor.
Someone's got to entertain these people.
It said jealousy.
That's as original as sin.
Perfect. Now, I'll just disappear over here in the corner, and you can start plotting.
Alright, what if there is a playwright and his wife is his leading lady and they have like a country house and they go for some type of rendezvous?
That sounds exactly like the plot we had in our 7th book.
Oh. No.
I cannot just sit here and come up with a plot. I do my best work in the early morning.
I have to slouch in a chair for weeks before I come up with something workable.
You know, if you'd like to go have a smoke or something, we'll ring a bell when we come up with a good jealousy plot.
Well, I'm jealous of anyone who isn't here.
I have an old plot that's been kicking around for some time. I can give it to you and we can toss it around.
There's that salad again.
Here goes. Have none of you paid to get in here?
The press always gets passes.
Oh, then they're getting their money's worth. Yes, my plot. Now, all I have worked out here is the middle and the end. Oh, by the way, I hope you'll all read my books. They're available in paperback, you know. Unless you like hardcover.
Maxwell, please, no commercials.
All right, dear.
Plot. We have the usual husband who married a woman for her money. She is rich, prominent, and a bitch. Oh, can I say words like that?
Censorship is at a new low. However, on our show, we would simply call her a bad woman.
All right, then. The wife is a bad woman. She's grown tired of the husband and decides to divorce him. He'll be left with nothing, so naturally, this being a murder story, he decides to kill her. Now, I realize that all of this is very usual so far, but Mildred C. Maxwell always has surprises up her typewriter. This has been... Oh, dear. I can't tell stories well. I wish you could see the characters as I do.
Oh, but they can, Miss Maxwell. Just use your imagination. Describe them, and we shall see them.
I'll try. The husband plots out the murder most ingeniously. He has gotten hold of a third cousin or an old ne'er-do-well classmate or someone like that, and is paying him to be an accomplice. Now, this middle scene that I have worked out is between the two men. The husband, we'll call him George, should be good-looking in a way, dressed in a nice suit, and... Yes, that's exactly what George should look like. Isn't imagination wonderful?
The suit is appallingly bad. The cut doesn't even fit.
This is her story.
Sorry.
He is nice looking, so... Oh, and I forgot, he has a broken arm. That's a most important plot. Now, for the ne'er-do-well. He is, of course, ne'er-do-well looking. Yes, exactly. George is just finishing plotting his intriguing murder, and he says...
And that's all you have to do. Here's your plane ticket to Chicago made out in my name.
You're sure nothing can go wrong?
I've worked out even the smallest detail.
I haven't yet, of course, but I shall.
You'll get on the 11 o'clock plane and we're in a cast in a sling. That'll make you immediately identifiable. Slouch down in your seat, pretend to sleep all the way. Nobody will pay attention to what you look like, just that you have the broken arm. Tomorrow, there'll be 80-some-odd passengers who will swear I was on flight 752 at the time of the murder.
Let us hope so.
It's foolproof. At 11:30, while you're somewhere between New York and Chicago, I'll get rid of Martha. There won't be a thing the authorities can prove. I have the best motive, but I was apparently 30,000 feet above the ground at the time it happened. The perfect alibi. At 12:30, I'll get on the flight to Chicago under an assumed name and be there when the body is discovered. I will be properly shocked, attend the funeral as a dutiful husband should, and then inherit the estate oh so reluctantly. There won't be a thing Roger can prove.
Roger's the new man.
Yes, Martha always has a new man, ready, willing, and younger.
You're sure that they can't connect you with me in any way?
How could they? As far as anyone knows, we haven't seen each other in 15 years.
There's just one thing you've forgotten.
Which is,
The money.
of course, it's all here.
I'll be thinking of you at 11:30 tonight.
And I'll be thinking of the future.
Now, as I said, I've also worked out the climax at 11:30 that night. Martha, the wife, is at home. I suppose she'd best be dressed in a negligee. They always seem to be. And she better be lovely, but a trifle hard-looking. Yes, that's Martha. Perhaps she's talking with this Roger.
Hello, Roger Dog.
Oh, wait a minute. We need more atmosphere. A radio. Music playing in contrast to the scene we know is coming. Could I have a radio?
Anything you wish.
Oh, what service? And it needs to be playing music.
Music!
Martha's on the phone.
He's gone. A quick divorce and then we can be together. No, an 11 o'clock flight out of Newark Airport. Oh, the poor dear. Won't be able to carry all that luggage with his broken arm. He'll have to tip a sky cap. That'll really hurt him. What? Oh, Mexico, I think. Overnight divorces. Well, of course you can, Roger. I wouldn't dream of going alone. Oh, first thing in the morning. Shall we lunch at 1? You can pick me up here. Oh, till then. Oh, as do I. Mwah. Hello? Is someone there? Who is it? Oh.
Hello, Martha.
Oh, what are you doing here? Did you get drunk and miss your plane?
Not at all. I've never been more sober in my life.
I don't think I've ever seen you sober.
Take a good look.
You are sober. Is it because you have to buy your own scotch now? Go on, get out of here. I've had my last look at you.
How right you are.
Just what that is that supposed to be?
I'm gonna kill you, Martha.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm serious. You don't think I'm gonna give up the job of being your husband without a retirement plan?
You didn't retire. You were fired. You get out of here. You don't scare me. Go on, get on another plane.
Huh, I'm already on one. You see, there's someone currently flying across the country dressed just like me with a broken arm. I'll have any number of people who will swear I'm not here, but there. It's all beautifully thought out.
You're bluffing. Get out of here now or I'm going to call the police.
You won't have time.
Oh, I know you too well. You may have thought up something like this, but you'd never have the guts to pull it off.
You're wrong, Martha.
We interrupt this program for a news bulletin. Amalgamated Airlines Flight 752 from Newark to Chicago has crashed outside of Cleveland, Ohio. There are no survivors.
Surprise ending! I'm famous for them. Chuck it to them with the last line. Of course, there are lots of details to work out, but we have our jealousy. The husband jealous of Roger, and the money, which would rightfully be George's. What do you think?
It's nice, but,
What?
well, there's no one you really care about.
I never really cared about anyone in your books.
Let's not be testy. I always had a sympathetic ingenue in there somewhere.
Perhaps if they were nicer people. Suppose we met them at a cocktail party, for instance, and there's some amusing chit-chat.
Well, that's not the way Mildred writes, Jess.
Well, we're collaborating, aren't we?
What if we updated? Say George was from the CIA and Roger was a spy for a foreign power. Plant a honing device on Roger's lapel and overhear them making love. Be rather a sexy scene. Audiences love that sort of thing.
Sex should be kept in the bedroom and not flaunted on television screens in the living room.
What if we made it a really good horror movie? Those used to play well, and maybe it's time for a comeback. Now, this was one of the silent films I used to write. Miss Maxwell, let me show you.
Monsters are out, Mr. Dupton. They really are.
But my climactic scenes are classics. They don't make them like that anymore. You remember Frankenstein, Dracula? Yeah, I was way ahead of those boys. Lon Chaney and the Silence, that's when we really had terror. Now, we always had a mad scientist, and he was jealous because the ingenue loved another. Now, the ingenue is this beautiful girl. Oh, magnificent. Now, the mad scientist pleads for her hand in marriage one last time. If she refuses him, he will call in the monster he has created to kill her. You'll notice the ingenue doesn't see the monster until the last possible moment. Suspense. And now for the mad scientist. You know, in all honesty, I don't think I can conjure up as good as mad scientist as I myself would make.
Oh, Whit and I do that. We're always acting things out.
I fancy myself the John Gielgud type.
Really? I never noticed.
Quiet, please. Now you must remember, I still think of these plots in terms of the silent films and those wonderful title cards. Dialogue was so unimportant. Music set the atmosphere. Music? Ready? Action! They don't make them like that anymore.
They certainly don't.
Are you laughing or choking?
It's funny.
Jess, show some respect.
I believe what you have just shown us is what they call camp.
Camp?
Mr. Ducton, you see what you've done, don't you?
Evidently not.
Well, you've done a parody of your own work. In order to have an audience be frightened by that, you'd have to have an audience of the era. You're not that old, are you?
They have changed, haven't they?
Well, that's the trouble. You changed too. When you gave up horror and introduced Jack Club, that started the hard-hitting era of detectives. But that would be a parody now too.
You really think so?
Of course. I'll show you.
I don't think I want you to.
Oh, but I'd enjoy it. I've been quivering on the sidelines, waiting to get into the act. Now, you come on over here, and Jess and I will show you what your Jack Club would be like now.
Goody. I am a marvelous actress.
You think this would accomplish anything?
Give them a chance.
When? Do you think we can do it alone?
Well, we may need a figment or two like the others. Now, I'll be Jack Club, and you be the usual girl, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel I must apologize.
What for?
This isn't what we had planned on. This is more of a happening than a mystery seminar. You haven't collaborated yet.
Sit down. You got us here. Now let us do our thing.
This isn't what I had in mind at all.
Now, Jack Club stories always started with the narration, setting the hard-hitting scene, as it were.
It was a cold morning, and the city was cold steel, like every heart in it. It had been a tough night. Violence was my friend. My name is Jack Club. I started out the day with my usual day cap. Then, suddenly, I felt this tight knot in my gut. That was a sign this wasn't going to be an ordinary day. I waited. Then, she came in.
She came in!
Oh, sorry, darling, once again.
Then, she came in. She was bad. All bad. Her lips formed a wicked smile. She was curvy and built like some Venus de Milo. But she had arms. Arms that had helped men. Many men. I got up. She came towards me like a bulldozer clearing a garbage dump. Her eyes searched me like a Geiger counter. Then she spoke.
I'm in trouble, big trouble.
My name is Trouble.
Kiss me hard.
You're bad. All bad.
My husband is dead.
I'm falling for you, baby. I'm falling fast.
They think I shot him.
Did you?
What do you think?
I think you're bad. All bad.
It was my stepdaughter, Stephanie. She's just my age. She shot him because he threatened to leave his money to me. Kiss me quick!
I got it bad, baby.
You're tough, Jack Club. All tough.
this broad Stephanie?
Stephanie Mildauer, that's me.
She's rotten, all rotten.
But innocent. So innocent.
That woman killed my father!
It was you, all you.
Oh, believe me! Please believe me!
I do, baby!
Our love, our desires.
It's over, baby. All over.
What was my mistake?
Putting your hand on my cheek. It's there. All there.
What is?
Powder burns from the gun you used to shoot your husband.
I'm sorry it had to end like this.
Don't! Don't shoot him!
Bang!
She's dead. All dead.
Forget about her, Jack Club. It can be you and me now.
It's no good, baby. The memory of Stephanie Mildauer will always haunt us. Give me that!
No!
Yes! Bang!
Oh, I underestimated you, Jack Club. You're hard. All hard.
Poor Stephanie. She was good. All good.
Jack! I love you! Let me go with a kiss!
I have found two loves and lost two loves. The sun set. The city was cold steel again, like every heart in it. My name is Jack Club.
That was perfect, exactly right. You see, Mr. Duckton, everything all of us did is now a parody. We are anachronisms.
Perhaps. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Olive. Your performances were quite something.
Well, I don't know quite how to take that.
Just take it and be quiet.
I don't agree, however. My style of writing is still current. I mean, nothing's come along to replace it yet.
Oh, come on, Whit, let's show her. I'm just getting warmed up. We can take that off, too.
No. I'll show Miss Benedict what her mystery tales are like if she wants.
I'm not sure I do want.
It's my turn to twist the knife, as it were. We'll take one of Miss Benedict's famous CIA agents. We'll pick them up right at one of your climactic scenes. Miss Benedict, why don't you act it out over here? Come on.
But how will I know what to say?
Well, it's my version of your story, so you'll just say what I'm thinking.
Okay, here it goes.
Right. Okay. So we find our hero about to stop the takeover of all Allied missile information by Chaotic. But those are the bad men. The organization always has initials that spell out a name. You've noticed that, haven't you? Now, our hero has been looking for the super spy. Super spies also always have catchy names. We'll call this one Silverleg. Now, all through the story, our hero's been having various affairs with various men in various unusual locations, including Turkish baths, cemeteries, the subway, but only the express line. Now, we find her in her beach house with her handsome secretary.
Oh, 276-390-845. There's something about you. Something different.
My pajamas are custom made.
I've enjoyed these assignments, working for you all day and all night, too.
Now the assignments must come to an end.
No, 276-390-845. I'm like contact paper. I stick it around.
but I found out who Silverleg is.
You couldn't have.
Yes, I could. I planted one of these. It's a homing device. It found out everything. It's a miniature broadcasting station. I've been listening in.
No!
Yes, I planted it on you and heard you recording the Agents of Chaotic. I'm sorry, babe, but I've got to turn you in.
No. Not yet.
No. Business before pleasure.
Well, then there's just one thing I've got to know.
Which is?
Where did you plant the homing device?
There you go, Miss Benedict.
Well, at least she was wearing something.
Is that how my books really seem?
Your detectives are just as ridiculous as mine, if you present them that way.
Well, don't stop. Please, Mr. Duncton, go on.
But that's the end.
But where was the honing device planted?
I haven't the faintest idea. I don't write this kind of story.
Spoil sport.
We seem to have lost our purpose somewhere along the line. If we jab at one another, my dears, we will never be able to collaborate.
Well, what we all need is a drink.
You've run out of your allotted time. The evenings, you know. The limousine will arrive in 20 minutes to take you to the airport.
This is rather stupid, don't you think? You expect us to go down there tonight, spend the night in some dreary little hotel, clamber into a leaky boat tomorrow afternoon to go to an island where the house looks exactly like this set. Why don't we just stay here?
Exteriors. Although most of what you write will take place in this room, each week we want you to include some outside shots. And then there's the press. They'll be out here Friday morning to take pictures of you all in the actual house. Feature stories, you know. I mostly will make the series, not the scripts.
Don't we
I didn't mean to say that.
But you did say it.
I suggest we call this whole thing off and disband until the limousine arrives.
I don't see how we're going to get any further there than we have here.
I agree.
Well, maybe we will if we stop making fun of each other's styles. We each have something individual to contribute. Let's concentrate on that.
You're right, young lady. Come on, let's go have that drink together.
Well, there's a festive-looking lounge across the street.
We will see you in the limousine, Miss Summers.
In 20 minutes, I shall fly down with you and then go straight to Vulture's Vault to make preparations. Wouldn't dream after we take lunch tonight.
Thank goodness. I get seasick enough in the daytime.
Oh, wait a minute. Thank the audience.
For what, darling?
For coming.
We didn't invite them, but thank you anyway.
Same here.
They've been awfully quiet. Thinking we've been bored to death.
I think they are.
I felt embarrassed.
The next scene takes place at Vulture's Vault, and I'm sure you'll find it more entertaining. It's gotta be. I really do apologize on behalf of WMT Studios, but at least you got a chance to see how these series start. I am not sure what else I should say now. Perhaps we better have the lights. Oh dear, the stage manager hasn't left. Lights? Oh, thank goodness.
I was calling you, Jane.
I heard you. That's why I'm here.
I saw the launch on the horizon. It will be here in 3 minutes.
Oh dear.
What's bothering you?
The dinner. The recipe Miss Summers gave me. It's rather fussy.
I'm sure it will be as delightful as you are, my dear.
Well, thank you. But I'm not used to a gas stove. The families I cook for on the mainland used electric.
I have confidence in you, Jane, as does Miss Summers.
Well, how do you know what she does if you never met her until last night?
I have ways of knowing.
Well, if you ask me, Miss Summers is going to have a nervous breakdown before this is over.
I know. I heard her pacing the floor of her bedroom. All night.
When I went up there this morning, her bed hadn't even been slept in.
Have you seen her today?
I haven't laid eyes on her. She told me she never eats breakfast, but she didn't eat lunch either. Not even a cup of coffee. It makes me nervous.
Peculiar. Most peculiar. Perhaps she is at the dock waiting for the lunch. You had better go check.
Oh, but I've got Ginger to look after.
To the dock, Jane.
But I've got a roast in.
There will undoubtedly be a long cocktail hour first. Go to the dock.
But I don't like going down that steep path.
You're perfectly safe. It's daylight. Now,
I'd never go out there at night. The dark makes me nervous. I've always been scared of it.
Jane, the launch will be landing. Go.
Yes, sir.
You're not supposed to be here. The authors will be arriving to fulfill their commitments, but they do not know what they have committed themselves to. It is for them to find out. You disappear now. Good. We are alone.
I must say, the outside looks like forest lawn.
I hope it has a bar.
Are you all right, Mildred?
Still queasy from that boat trip.
That is one thing I've never been bothered with, a weak stomach.
Well, bully for you.
In my books, they would have flown us over here in a helicopter.
Summers is right. It is exactly the same.
Exactly.
Incredible what set designers do, isn't it?
These are real, all right. No canvas.
I can create here. I can feel it in my bones. This just calls for a corpse to be sprawled on it.
I'd go for Danish modern myself. This couch feels like early Salvation Army.
It is a commanding view, though. I like it here. I fit right in.
I wouldn't brag. Wait, look. This is exactly what your Aunt Jenny sent us for a wedding present. I would have thought there were two of them.
I'm more concerned about the reception we got. That lovely child medicine had scampered out the back door. Where is everybody? Ah!
You must be Gregory.
That is correct.
Miss Summers told us you'd be here.
I know who you are. I know who you all are.
And we know who you are, so we're even.
What are your wishes?
Isn't it cocktail time?
If you wish it to be, sir.
I wish it to be desperately.
Then I shall prepare. You will pardon me.
That's a creepy one, isn't it?
The odd servant, standard fare of my earlier works. I do hope he's Middle European. It's so beautifully nebulous.
I don't suppose we have to work with that looking down at us.
I believe that's a rather excellent painting.
Well, you can tell by scratching your fingernail.
I don't think Summers would approve.
It's quite rare in here, isn't it? I always thought the tropics were lush with lots of vegetation and palm trees.
You didn't write rain, did you?
No, darling, that was Somerset Maugham.
There's nothing here but typing paper.
Well, what did you expect, dear? A will to be read at midnight?
I thought maybe Miss Summers might have left a note or something.
You would have thought she would have met us at the dock.
If she's changing into evening wear, I shall spit.
Well, she's gotta be around here somewhere.
But where?
Here!
Summers!
What's the matter with her?
She's ill! She's unconscious!
Is she?
She's dead!
A knife in her back.
Can't be suicide.
Darling, a real murder.
Out of a closet, too. It's just too perfect to believe.
What do we do now?
Call everyone together and expose the murderer.
But who is it?
Well, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh dear.
What's the matter?
Is that what a real dead body looks like? I've never seen one before.
Evidently.
Well, one thing is certain.
What?
We've got the beginning to our plot. Now all we have to do is solve it.
Oh, excuse me, please. I think I'm gonna faint.
Try to drink this, Rodney, please. It's a stimulant.
I know that. I write these scenes too, you know.
Have we come into focus yet?
I can see you all quite plainly now.
Well, that's a good sign.
I've never fainted before.
Have some more.
What did it feel like, Rodney? I always describe it as if the hero feels the rooms going round and round and then falls down a dark tunnel.
Well, you're wrong. I felt sick and I woke up here.
Disappointing indeed.
5-star. Another brandy, Gregory.
Yes, madame.
Well, should we try sitting up now?
You are as bad as any nurse. I am a me, not a we. You are not sick, and yes, I will try sitting up now.
You're just cranky because you're embarrassed.
Where's Whitney and Barbara?
They've taken poor Summers upstairs. It appears the East Room has a delightful view of the ocean.
Does it have twin beds, dear?
You're not going to move in, are you?
Well, there's bound to be another, you know.
Another murder?
Did you ever write a book with only one corpse?
Oh, good Lord, you're right. At least one in the beginning to get the reader's attention, and then another towards the end.
Quickly, Gregory.
Yes, madame.
Just in time.
Come on, Rodney, up you get. You can't sit there all evening. There's work to do.
I'm fine. I apologize. Silly of me. Seeing that knife sticking out of Summers' back.
Oh, poppycock. You've used knives dozens of times.
What's one thing to describe a knife sticking between shoulder blades and blood trickling down, but when you actually see it. Oh, here I go again.
Oh, easy on, Rodney. Now, think of something pleasant.
Think of the money you're making.
I'm thinking.
Where's the brandy? There's bound to be brandy. There always is.
It's 5-star, darling. Gregory.
Yes, madame.
Summers is laying there very peacefully. She looks exactly as if... Oh, for God's sakes. What? I was going to say it looks exactly as if she were sleeping. I stopped writing lines like that at NYU.
Carrying her upstairs now was interesting.
I couldn't be more pleased.
Seriously. I always have my characters whipping bodies around as if they were toothpicks, but she was damn heavy.
Perhaps you are not very strong.
I tell you, she was a dead weight.
This is no time for levity.
So she's really dead.
You know she was if you helped carry her upstairs instead of fainting.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't help, but
Forget it. I'm younger than you are.
I don't think it's necessary to point that out.
You removed the knife, of course.
Yes.
I'm going to remember it. It was like taking a knife out of a wedge of cheese.
Oh, Camembert before.
Camembert, I think. It sort of just slid out.
This is going to be something.
It is something already.
I mean, all of our next books. I can't wait until the reviewers notice that we're all using the same line. The knife came out of her back like it was sliding from a wedge of Camembert cheese.
Excuse me, but what should I do about dinner?
What did you have in mind?
Serve it or freeze it?
You're not in the frame of mind to eat right now, are you?
No.
Well, isn't anyone going to do anything?
There's no need to be shrill.
Do anything about what, dear?
Miss Summers.
She's in the East Room overlooking the ocean.
But she's dead.
We know that.
Murdered. And you're just all sitting here.
Jane, you must control yourself.
Oh, very good, Gregory. When the ingenue bursts into hysteria, someone always has to say, you must control yourself. Do you write?
No, Miss Maxwell.
I'm sorry, but you're just all sitting around here and doing nothing. Shouldn't someone call the police?
Impossible, isn't it?
Out of the question.
You're very naive. Jane, is it?
Yes, but what's naive about calling the police? Isn't that what they're there for?
We can't call them.
Why not?
Naturally, the phone is dead.
Oh, you've tried it.
Oh, we don't have to, dear.
What do you mean?
Perfect line. What do you mean? They always say that.
You amaze me, Whit. You're so perceptive.
Pardon me, but how do you know the phone is dead?
Shall we explain it to her?
It's very simple, Jane, dear. We are brought out here, we, the great mystery writers of all time. We walk in the door, a body floats out of a closet. Do you honestly expect that one of us is just going to walk to the phone and call the police on the mainland? Nonsense. Of course the phone is dead. It has to be.
But this isn't a story. This is real life.
We're all aware of that, but we're also all aware the phone is dead as a doornail.
Oh, I don't believe you. You're all crazy. I'll do it.
I cherish naivete. It's so rare.
You lost it at 2.5.
And wouldn't you love to know who Whit?
Hello? Hello? The phone is dead.
Now that we have wasted 10 lines of dialogue, let's get on with it. Any suggestions?
Does anyone have a pencil radio?
I don't even have a pencil.
In my books, we just take out the pencil, raise the antenna, and call the CIA or someone.
Which might be why your books aren't selling too well lately.
They did a hell of a lot better than yours did last year.
I'll have you know that my books have
Please, please, please. We all have respect for one another, remember?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, Miss Maxwell. I've always bowed to you in your plot lines.
Thank you. And I have always thought that your ingenious devices were marvels.
Thank you.
Fantasies, but marvels.
They do have pencil radios, you know.
Perhaps they do, but it's cheating having all of those gadgets.
Now that we've all ascertained that none of us do have a pencil radio, or a ray gun, or a laser beam, that Miss Benedict will not self-destruct in 5 seconds, what are we going to do?
Drink?
Ooh, a marvelous idea.
You two certainly do stay in character, don't you?
We try to.
May I suggest then we have some food before you get blotto?
Well, that sounds a trifle vulgar.
I agree wholeheartedly. Jane, perhaps you could make some small sandwiches. There must be something out there to slap between pieces of bread, just to tide us over.
Yes, Miss Maxwell.
I hope she's not going to try slapping caviar. Sounds mushy.
I think this kitchen is definitely salami.
Oh, you don't suppose they have any cottage cheese?
Jack Club would eat a raw steak after he took it off his eye.
About the cocktails.
Shall I prepare some cocktails?
Gregory, do all butlers eavesdrop?
In your books, madame.
Touche.
Martinis?
Perfect. I've got a bottle of Bombay gin. It's in the initial leather case with my luggage.
I have put away all the bags and have taken the liberty of placing the Bombay gin in the pantry. We only have Gilbey's.
Gregory, you're a true gentleman's gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Now that we have taken care of the nourishment situation, what's next?
Well, someone has to be in charge. Someone must ask questions and discover clues and things.
Correct.
But which one of us?
Well, Whit and I are a team, so we're out.
Why not you, Rodney? We'll take it in order of seniority.
I do wish you would quit harping on age.
I was referring to experience.
Oh, because I do believe Miss Maxwell is somewhat older than me.
What was that, dear?
Well, according to Mystery Writers Who's Who, you predate me by 3 months.
That is merely because I lied when my first book came out. I wanted the editors to think I was mature, so I said I was 20 when I was only 18.
That settles it. Rodney, you have the floor.
That's such a stupid line. You have the floor. What's he supposed to do with it? Polish it?
Miss Olive, there is a time and a place for your celebrated wit. But this is neither the time nor the place. If I am to be in charge, I must have time to think.
Plunge ahead. That's my motto. Spend half the day sitting at your typewriter staring out the window, you get nothing written. I draw the blinds.
Quiet, please. I want to assess all this happened before I begin the questioning. It's obvious none of us did it. That leaves either Gregory or Jane. She is too young and naive to be believed, and he is certainly an odd servant. Odd servants are often murderers. Now, I'm somewhat of a genius as a mystery writer. Never fooled myself. There you have it. It's a fact. I am a genius. I created Jack Clubb. Now, if I could just act the way he would act, everything would be served promptly. Now, he would know there was something rotten about those 2 servants. It's too hard to get domestics these days to have 2 of them just sitting around this island. The thing to do is eavesdrop and find out what they know. Now, if I could just get them alone. Good. I got rid of the others. Now to get the naive girl and the odd servant in here. Oh, here they come. You cannot beat imagination for getting things done quickly. I'll just hide in here. Now remember, Rodney, you're tough. Like Jack Clubb. Tough as nails.
Good, they took a powder.
How much time we got?
I can signal now.
Did you rub out? Was it tough rubbing out summers?
Nah, just like sticking a knife in a wedge of camembert cheese.
Wait, are we gonna give it to the others?
If they get in the way, we'll sink them in the ocean and cement galoshes.
Can't we just do them for practice?
Get the ice first and we'll have fun afterwards.
500 clams and uncut diamonds, emeralds, and rubies just sitting out there in the dinghy.
The biggest heist in history. They said the crown jewels couldn't be stolen. They reckoned without the boss.
But you blew it!
What do you mean by that?
Ow, you're hurting me!
You only hurt the one you love.
Oh, your race is with me.
How'd I blow it?
The right people come in here. You didn't figure on that.
No sweat. Summers came first and got the camembert cheese treatment. Now I'll signal to the tower. The boat comes in with the diamonds. The cop is due at midnight. And then we'll be off, hon. Anywheres you like. Rio, Capri, Detroit.
This is it. One big heist and then it's easy street.
30 minutes and they'll be in my mitts. The jewels.
Oh, I just love the way you say that word. Jewels.
Hang loose, hon. And remember, you're mine. All mine.
Jewels. You dumb clock. Little does he know that once he gets him, it's gonna be curtains for the boss. Curtains.
Hiya, baby.
Who are you?
They call me Jack Clubb. Damn.
Jack Clubb, the private eye?
Tagged it, baby.
Then a hood in the underworld, whose chin you haven't skied, or a hood's dame whose lips you haven't blistered.
So they tell me.
How'd you get here?
Swam.
You're tough, Jack Clubb. All tough.
So they tell me. Now that's level. The jewels are getting here in 30 minutes.
You heard?
Clean my ears with the barrel of my .22.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, those jewels, they go back to the Queen of Atlanta. And you, baby,
Yes?
you go with me. I hope you have Argentine your lipstick, because you're about to get blistered.
Oh, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Kissing you, baby. Kissing you hard.
Lay off!
You don't like it?
You're a dirty old man.
Come on, baby.
I'd rather kiss a dried sponge.
That is not what you're supposed to say. This whole thing is going wrong.
Oh, me and the boss are gonna get the jewels. And you're gonna get a shiv in the back, just like Summons.
Oh, you lured her to her death. I can see it now. She takes a step towards you and Gregory knifes her.
Smart, ain't ya? I can't resist ya.
Too smart for that line, baby.
Oh, you wouldn't kiss me even if I begged ya?
Not after that line about the dried sponge.
Oh, I was only fooling. I love antiques.
Well, if you can't resist, maybe one little smacker to give you something to remember and stir. Ow! That hurts.
It's supposed to.
I mean, it really hurts.
Why isn't he falling down?
He's got a head like a pair of cement galoshes.
Oh, I had no idea it would be like that. I always have my heroes hit in the head. They shake it off and go into a fist fight, but this really hurts.
What is going on down here? Who is yelling like that?
An intruder, Miss Olive. I had to resort to violence.
Oh, who are you?
Jessica, please.
My God, it's Jack Club. Thank goodness I have unguentine in my lipstick.
He's a murderer. They're Gregory, and she's his accomplice, and my head hurts.
The servants. No, Mr. Club, the servants never do it anymore. That's passé.
Let me show you. I'll prove it to you. Get over there. This is it, Jane. The showdown. It's either him and the jewels, or me, Jack Club, without the jewels. No dame can resist me. I'm tough. All tough.
Okay, hon. What's it gonna be?
She's got no choice, buddy.
Oh, give me that. Here's your answer, old man.
Oh! I'm shot! I'm really shot, and it hurts! I never thought it would be like this. I always write hot letter through his shoulder, but it's so much worse than that. It just plain hurts. How do I expect my characters to go on after something like this? I should go to the hospital for weeks and then get workman's compensation. I never thought it would be like that, but I guess it must be. I've always considered myself a realistic author, but this getting hit in the head and shot twice a book is no easy matter at all. No, I am not one for reality. Now that I am faced with a real murder, there's only one thing for me to do. That is to shut up.
How long do we have to wait for you to assess all that has happened?
I have come to a conclusion. I have nothing to say except for the butler did it.
The butler?
Gregory? That's too obvious, old man.
Don't call me old man.
I wasn't referring to your age. It was a term of endearment. Don't be so sensitive.
In my books, there aren't any butlers. They're from a different era.
Mark my words, the butler did it.
Cocktails are ready.
Oh, thank you, Gregory. It appears the only thing he did was to make drinks.
I wouldn't drink one of those if I were you.
I would and will.
Better have him take a swallow first.
Nonsense. You've got a Roman emperor complex.
Still, Rodney may have a point.
Would you mind, Gregory?
Not at all, sir. I normally don't drink on duty, but you have requested it.
Not too dry?
Perfection, sir.
Thank you, Gregory. I shall serve them.
Thank you, sir.
Are you satisfied, Rodney?
Maybe it's a slow-acting poison. You should wait a minute.
And we'd hear a gurgling gasp, wouldn't we?
Gurgling gas. Alliteration. I like that.
And what do you suppose a gurgling gasp sounds like?
Exactly like that, I would expect.
Anyone want to go take a look?
I do not react well to dead bodies, and I'm not budging from this spot.
Wait, go and see if Gregory's tossed off the mortal coil.
I can't. I'd spill this tray of martinis.
Then it's up to me. I've got a strong stomach.
If the butler's passed over, Rodney, it sort of knocks your theory into a cocked hat, doesn't it?
Perhaps he drank the poison, realizing he was caught.
Twaddle.
I loathe bad language.
I wish Barb would hurry up. I'm dying for one of these, but not if they're lethal.
He's dead, all right.
Well, now things are bustling, aren't they? 2 down and 5 to go.
Poor guy looks terrible. Twisted up like a pretzel.
When I have someone poisoned, I always say he grabs his throat and falls over dead.
It must have been agonizing. You, want to go take a look?
Oh, you'd better not. We're running low on brandy.
Jess, smell this glass he drank out of.
If the murderer has any sense at all, it will be odorless. That's what I always use.
Oh, that's worse than moonshine.
Now, smell the others.
What will that prove?
Whether one of the martinis was poisoned or all of them.
They smell all right.
Good. And we can drink them.
Have you no compassion for Summers and now Gregory dead?
That's the past, old boy. I'm thinking of the future, and there's a drink in mine. Here, cheers.
What if only one of the drinks was poisoned? It mustn't have mattered who got it. I mean, the killer didn't seem to care which of us drank it.
Well, it could be one of us. We were here the whole time.
We're all suspects. Have we kept a strict eye on each other?
Of course, darling.
Wrong. When we carried poor Summers upstairs, Barb and I washed up afterwards. Separately, of course. Jess rushed out to get brandy after Rodney collapsed. Mildred went to the ladies while we all waited for Rodney to take over the questioning. There we are.
Obviously, I am exonerated.
No. You were hovering over the tray when he brought it in. You could have slipped something in it.
For that matter, so could you.
Well, now that you mention it, yes.
So, any one of us could have slipped something into the drink, or perhaps into the glass before the drink was mixed.
Isn't it marvelous? We're all still in the running.
Did you expect anything else? It's too soon to find out the guilty party.
What about the maid?
Jane, hadn't we better tell her?
I expect she'll find out soon enough.
How?
Like that. She's bound to stumble on him sooner or later.
Help! Something terrible
Has happened. That's a trite line, dear.
We all know Gregory's dead.
But he's just lying there in the pantry.
And you're properly hysterical. Good girl. Come along. I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Oh, but first Miss Summers, and then Gregory.
No need to sum it up yet, dear. We can add. You carry on. I'll be right back. Now, come on, pick up your feet, dear. You've stumbled over him once already.
Oh.
That's right. Now take a giant step.
Oh!
Mildred is quite calm about this, isn't she?
Oh, don't start pitting us against one another. Those are such boring scenes.
Well, then if there's someone else on the island, we ought to set out and find him.
Or her. Always say him or her. Never narrow down the field until you're certain.
Let's search the island.
Useless.
Why?
It always is. If you paid attention to the older genres of mysteries like Mildred's and mine, you would know we are all alone here.
But hadn't we better make sure?
I suppose you're right.
We'll go off in different directions and scour the place.
It won't take long.
Wait, go that way. I'll take this way. Rodney to the north. Just take me upstairs.
Good. I don't want to scrape my heels on the rocks. These are I. Miller shoes.
Ready? Go.
you off to?
This young lady wants us to search the island.
Waste of time. Naturally, we're all alone here.
I know that. The Olives know that, and you know that. She doesn't know it.
Then we'll prove it to her. Where should I go?
Take the wine cellar.
Oh, I'll trade with you.
I'm giving out the assignments. Ready? Go.
Which way is north again?
That way. I wish someone would move this body.
Caught you.
Whitney Olive, don't you ever do that to me again.
I knew you'd come right back here, just like a homing pigeon.
Well, what about you?
I hate solitary alcoholics.
All this searching business is ridiculous, but we do have to humor the younger generation.
This is a really well-mixed martini. Too bad he died.
Wait, I feel terribly guilty.
Look here now, you didn't do it, did you?
Of course not, but here we are right up to our collective necks in 2 murders, and I'm not as nervous as I should be.
It's because we're used to it.
Well, but only in an imaginary sort of way.
Well, this whole thing doesn't seem real somehow.
Why don't we just solve it and then we can get on with our writing? We're not going to meet a deadline with bodies lying about the corridors and not knowing who did it.
Do you suppose we could solve it?
Darling, of course. We've solved every murder we've ever been involved with.
That's because we decided who the murderer was before the crime was even committed. We're not working backwards this time.
It might be fun starting from the top. Now, we know it isn't any of us. I mean, a mystery writer committing murder would be dirty cool.
Dishonorable discharge from the Mystery Writers Guild.
Then it must be Jane.
She's awfully pretty.
Do you remember the case of the two-legged secretary?
Intimately.
It was your idea to have the pretty girl the murderess, and it went into a second printing 2 weeks after publication.
You're right.
I usually am.
You're conceited, too.
Then, if it is Jane, what would we do if we were writing this?
Have her discovered committing another murder.
No. We would have her make some idiotic slip, and then the beautiful and brilliant wife, the part we had created after me, would say something like, "Aha, you've slipped up that time."
I'd rewrite that line, but go on.
Then, all we have to do is get this Jane to make a stupid mistake.
But how?
Well, you're half of this writing team. Give me a little help.
I'm trying.
Here she comes down. Be nonchalant.
You both look so nonchalant.
Thank you, darling.
Oh, I wish I could be that calm, but every time I come out of the pantry, I have to step over Gregory.
You are working under a great handicap, but the sandwiches do look delicious.
Salami?
Salami.
Well, where are the others?
Searching the island.
Oh, well, they won't find anyone in Vulture's vault. Gregory and I have been here for 2 days, and we haven't seen sign of a soul.
You were here alone?
Together?
Yes?
Were you lovers?
Of course not. What a thing to say.
You're letting your imagination run away with you.
Well, we always have a bit of sex in our books, don't we?
How long have you known Gregory?
Oh, we never met until we got on the launch to come here. You see, I've been out of a job because I was ill. Up until last January, I worked for Mrs. Plato Honordonk.
We've never met her.
Oh, she's a truly kind woman. She paid for all my hospital bills.
And did she take you with her between houses, New York and Newport?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And out on the yacht?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Aha! You've slipped up that time.
Oh, no!
I said I was going to rewrite that line.
Don't you see, Wit?
See what?
Mrs. Plato Underdog doesn't own a yacht. She gets seasick in her bathtub. That was your mistake, Jane. You've revealed your true self.
Oh, all right, I did it. I killed them both.
My gosh, darling, you've done it. You're a marvel.
Oh, thank you, darling.
But what's the matter with her?
Well, we've stopped imagining we're writing this, so she stopped too.
Well, Are we just gonna leave her there?
That's the end of the story. Close the book.
That's not the way this would go if she really did commit those 2 murders.
No, probably not.
Jess!
With what? With the hell with it.
She would do something desperate, wouldn't she?
You're damn right she would!
Oh, I don't like this at all.
You stupid fools! Of course she'd do something desperate! She'd kill the both of you!
No, you mustn't kill the authors. That's shooting the hand that types you.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, you first, Mr. Olive! If you have something to say it fast!
Could I have another martini?
Oh, here it comes!
Stop it. Stop it, both of you. I'm writing half of this, and I say stop it. That's better. Wait, come here. What went wrong?
Well, we finished the story all right, but we ended up with a few extra pages.
Do you suppose that would happen at the end of all of our stories if they were real?
Possibly.
Well, I've definitely decided that I don't approve of or take any delight in real murder at all.
Let's go back to our martinis and shut up.
Good idea. We were right about one thing, though.
I'd like to know what.
Well, Jane must be the murderer. There's no one else it could be.
Much too obvious, dear. There's got to be a plot twist somewhere.
Stupid waste of time. There's nothing to be seen out there, not even a decent rock formation.
Oh, never mind, Rodney. We've made the impetuous young author happy.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, my calendar watch has stopped.
Guess what I found in the wine cellar?
What?
Wine.
Well, that is hardly surprising.
It looks older than your original horror story.
And much more tasty. Don't just stand there, Mildred. Open it and we'll have a toast.
To anything in particular?
Well, our partnership. I think we've come up with some marvelous plot points already.
You are rather cold-blooded, aren't you? I suppose you like us to bury them both together and put up a tombstone that says, "Here lies 2 plot points."
Did anyone find anything?
Mildred discovered a marvelous decaying bottle of aged wine.
I must apologize to you all. You were right. The island is deserted.
Well, live and learn.
Now, if I could have all of your attention, I think we need to bring Jane in here and give her the 3rd degree. You know, under a bare bulb while we're sitting around chewing gum and cracking nuts.
Because if it isn't Jane, then it's one of us.
Impossible.
Rodney, you have been consistently wrong ever since this evening started.
You really think it could be one of us?
It has to be. I just found Jane with her head sticking in the oven and the gas turned on.
Dead?
She wasn't baking an apricot upside down cake.
Good God.
That's a stupid line, Barb. Say something more pertinent.
Did you turn off the gas?
Now that's pertinent.
It seems to me it's time we solved these crimes. Before you know it, we'll be dead. That's what always happens in those books by that woman. What's her name? Agatha something.
Christie.
Yes, that's the one. Why don't we take one of her theories and start from there? The guilty person is always the least likely. And who's that? Why, the one who was done away with first. She's only pretending.
That's old hat. Done to death. I even saw it in a play once. Any Number Can Die by Fred Carmichael.
And that theory doesn't hold any water. Jocelyn Summers is dead, all right. Wade and I carried her upstairs and,
Agreed.
So much for Agatha Christian.
Christy, darling, Christy.
Oh, she'll never last.
Of course it could be one of us.
How?
Well, we all spent the night in that dreary hotel on the mainland. Anyone could have rented or stolen a launch, putt-putted over here, killed Summers, and gone back, showed up for breakfast. A squirt of urine in the eyes, and who would know?
That's true.
Well, except Witterby, of course. We're married and sleep together, unusual as it may seem these days.
But either of us could have slipped each other a sleeping pill and done it.
You and your big mouth.
Now that you found we're all potentially guilty, what's next?
Well, maybe if each of us just speak what's on our minds, we'll hit upon something.
My mind is on...
We know. Another drink.
Brilliant deduction, my dear Maxwell.
What about you, Benedict? We don't know what you're thinking.
Whoa!
Go ahead, speak up.
If I were were to say what's on my mind, I'm sure no one would agree. I've been trained to think in a different era than you have. If I were like my heroes with their electronic equipment, I'd go back to just before we went to search the island, before Jane was killed. This innocent-looking thing is a homing device, and I would have planted one on each one of them. And then with this innocent-seeming pen, I could listen to any conversation they might have had. That's what I'd do. And then, I went to search the island. Ready, and go.
Which way is north again?
That way.
I wish someone would move this body.
Now to use this innocent-seeming pen.
For that peppy feeling, use Blood Pep every morning. It's time to stop being dead.
Wrong channel.
I thought I'd never get you alone.
That's Jane's voice.
I've got the plans, but we better not be seen talking up here. Even those stupid authors might suspect something.
Who's she talking to?
Meet me in the living room. I've got the plans hidden away in a book. No, not here. Save the romance for later. Oh, all right. If you insist.
Those spies are all the same. The living room? That's here. Better conceal myself and find out who the master spy is.
Come on, hurry up before the others get here.
Where are the plans?
Oh, keep your shirt on, I'm getting them.
Chaotic will pay millions for those millions.
Oh, here they are.
Every missile site on the eastern seaboard. Incredible. How did you get them?
The usual way. No one can resist my body.
The entire eastern seaboard?
I got slowed down in Jacksonville. It took me 6 days.
Incredible.
Now I want what's coming to me.
And that is exactly what you're going to get, my dear.
Give me the dough. This is no time to fix your hair with that innocent-looking comb.
Your usefulness is over. The plans are all mine. But what to do with you? I know the oven. Those stupid authors will never suspect Chaotic is mixed up in all this. They're too busy with themselves. Ha ha!
So that's it. Now to hear what he's doing with the poor child.
Good Lord, she's heavy.
He's getting old.
I'm not getting old, just tired. Now down you go. Open comes the oven door, and on goes the gas.
Now for the showdown. The way I write it, I get the plans back and capture Rodney Ducton, master spy. Reality isn't so much different from imagination after all.
Now to condense those films onto microdot film. Oh, did you find anything on your search of the island?
Cut the act, Rodney. Give me the plans.
Of course, Barb Benedict. Right after I comb my hair.
Don't pull that innocent-seeming comb on me. See this?
I know by that seemingly innocent-looking cigarette lighter. I can stop that fast enough.
Not the innocent-seeming wristwatch!
You got it, sister.
You win, but you won't keep the plans.
Of course I will. They're right here, and they're mine. All mine. Oh, dear Lord.
When they touch a chaotic agent, they self-destruct in 5
I
seconds.
should have known. I've killed Summers and Gregory and James with those plans, and now they've slipped through my fingers. What do you think you're doing?
Just tying my shoelace.
Do you think that innocent-seeming shoelace will stop this innocent-seeming watch?
That's what it's made for.
Then take this.
Not the innocent-seeming tie class. This is wrong. All wrong. Chaotic isn't supposed to win.
You did write this, sister. This is reality.
Oh, Barbara Beverly Benedict. It's no good to say what's on your mind. course Rodney may be the murderer. He's old and senile and his mind may have snapped. Now stop it. Whenever someone thinks she knows who the murderer is, that person gets killed. I'll just say nothing. Miss Benedict. Barb! Oh, sorry, my mind was wandering.
You were just saying that if you told us what was on your mind, we wouldn't agree. Just what is on your mind?
Nothing. Not a thing.
Oh, just as I thought.
However, I can make a picture.
Well, go ahead, make it.
Rodney, you're gonna be killed next.
That is not a very polite thing to say.
Nevertheless, it follows the pattern.
What pattern?
I'd rather not say.
If you know something and you're not telling us, then you're cheating. We're supposed to be collaborating.
It's the first book I ever wrote.
This is no time for narcissism. Why did you say I was going to die next?
Because you are.
Everyone is wrong about everything tonight.
Well, thank heaven for that.
She's dead, of course. Ask a silly question, get a silly answer.
Poison capsule in this cutout book. Ingenious. The murderer knew that was a foolproof way of getting Barb.
But how? Any of us could have opened that book.
Oh, not that book, honey. It was Barb's first. Do you remember Lightning Cube?
Oh, yes, it was awful.
She improved after that.
The murderer knew none of us would dream of opening that book except Barb. And she, of course, couldn't resist it.
Magnificent, Mildred. Your deductive mind works even when you're not writing the story. Please, go on.
I can't think properly with this body messing up the living room. I suggest you two gentlemen remove Miss Benedict.
Where to?
How do I know? With the others?
Well, Summers is upstairs, Jane's in the kitchen, and Gregory's in the pantry. Oh, we'll take her there, it's closest.
Now things are getting exciting.
Well, I must admit to feeling a trifle nervous.
Oh, rot. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the whole business. This is when I shine.
I just assumed we figured it out in some comfortable lounge on the mainland.
But we'd only have to come back, return to the scene of the crime and all that.
Well, I, for one, want to leave Vulture's vault.
I, for two, agree with you, but how?
Well, in those movies where a plane crashes on a deserted island, they always write a tremendous help in the sand.
Excellent suggestion.
There's just one thing wrong with it.
What?
There's no sand. This island is completely rock.
We could build a fire.
Out of rocks? Weren't you ever a Boy Scout?
No, they took away my badge when they found my canteen full of martinis.
There is a time when humor is unwelcome, Mr. Olive, and this is one of those times.
The furniture!
I assume that's a non sequitur, Rodney, but you did succeed in changing the subject.
No, we'll burn the furniture. The smoke will bring help. We'll write this whole thing up for the TV show. Just give me matches.
Yes.
I'll take this chair. Whitney, could you get that bench?
I've fallen asleep on ones that are smaller, but I'll try.
I must say, I have very little faith in this scheme.
Me too.
What's wrong with it?
It's too simple.
Far, far too simple. If this would work, then everyone would have done it in all our books.
Maybe we never thought to have them think of it.
I'll answer that when I figured it out.
Pile that on here.
I think this bench is made of stone. Do you suppose it will burn?
If the fire gets going, I'll look in the larder for some marshmallows.
Ouch! Get away, damn thing!
What's the matter?
A bee stung me!
Where? Let me see.
I'll make some mud. That's the best thing.
Here.
Oh, dear.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it?
Very.
Come along, Rodney. Jessica has made some beautiful mud. If you don't use it, she'll only put it on her face.
But it hurts.
I know it does, Rodney, but you're a brave boy.
Goodbye, Rodney Duckton. You were one of my favorite authors. Bee sting indeed. I use that one in the case of the South American headhunter. I know a blowgun dart when I see it. Dipped in curare, no doubt, they always are. Aha! The unusual weapon. This is right up my line. Mildred, my girl, go to it. Now, for the surprise ending. The murderer is not Jessica. She was helping Rodney with the chair. It's not Whitney, as he was piling the bench on top of the chair. Therefore, by process of elimination, the murderer is me. How's that for a surprise ending? No, I didn't do it. That's not right. I know that. If it isn't me, it must be one of the olives. Intriguing idea, just as I'd constructed. Down to 3 people and one of them is guilty. How would I conclude it? The olives would come back in announcing all surprised-like that Rodney was dead from a blowgun. That's how it would begin.
Mildred, it's Rodney.
What about him?
He's dead.
It wasn't a bee sting. It was a dart from a blowgun.
The kind of murder you would commit.
Well, what do you know?
Confess, Mildred, then the 3 of us will sit down and write the story before you give yourself up.
The royalties will be astounding.
We'll see that your next of kin gets your share.
Oh, how generous of you. But you've forgotten one thing. You've
That
forgotten.
line again?
Yes, you've forgotten. I know I didn't do it. Therefore, it must be you.
We forgot about that.
I thought you reckoned without my deductive mind.
How true.
But why did you do it?
Surely you can figure that out.
We're dried up. No new idea in ages. Our books are getting pedantic.
Sloppy.
Predictable. The only way they'll sell is to kill the competition.
So we're picking off mystery authors one by one.
We're quite insane.
Utterly, completely mad.
I should have guessed. Well then, there's only one thing left to do, isn't there?
What?
Kill me, of course. No, I didn't say that. You didn't hear me. Tell me you didn't hear me.
We
heard you.
Me and my big mouth.
Put that down, Whitney. It's my turn.
It is not.
If so,
It's not.
Why don't you two figure it out while I go upstairs and freshen up?
Stay where you are.
All right, darling. Let's do it together.
Okay, ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jessica.
Whitney.
That's a surprise ending. Oh, but it wouldn't work in real life, would it? It's stupid and silly, and I'd rip it out of my typewriter and start over. The truth is, no one can predict reality. I'll just have to wait and find out like one of my readers does. They must be about to come back, saying,
Mildred, it's Rodney.
what about him?
He's dead.
It wasn't a bee sting. It was a
Dart
dart.
from a blowgun. I know.
Of course you knew. It's your kind of murder.
Well, it might be the kind of murder I'd think up, dear, but not the kind I'd commit. No, I am not the murdering type.
Well, neither are we.
Well, one of you must be. Or both. I was thinking just now, and...
And?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just that, well, I've had an idea.
Give me that.
After I search it.
Let her have it, dear. She can't use your master charge here.
I knew she was a murderer, but I had no idea she was a purse snatcher.
Aha! Just as I thought.
It's not your shade.
You thought I'd fall for that? Take that.
She's completely crackers.
If you're hungry, there's food in the kitchen.
It's only a lipstick.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, then how did you do it? Where is the blowgun?
We might ask you the same question.
Yes! How did you do it?
Me?
Well, it wasn't either of us. It must have been you.
Either of you? Why not both of you?
You honestly think we'd go around killing people? Why don't you just go away somewhere?
Oh, no. I am not falling for that line. I'm going to stay right here where I can keep an eye on you.
Well, we are going to stay right here and do ditto.
How long before one starves to death?
I'd die of thirst long before.
Well, I, for one, am not going to waste time. There's money to be made in this situation, and I am going to get it. I'll break into magazines with this one. Serial rights, and then movie rights. It'll be my biggest money maker. I think I'll call it A Night of Horror.
It isn't over yet.
Is she going to finish it in jail?
The damn typewriter doesn't work.
You are old-fashioned, Mildred. It's electric.
Oh, of course. Oh, thank you. Where's the button? Ah.
Go ahead. Don't let us disturb you.
You seem rather over-anxious for me to start. Of course. Oh, ingenious.
What now?
Electricity. The typewriter is rigged to electrocute me.
Well, really?
You thought I'd fall for that one, hey? With the ingenious murders that I write?
This has gone too far. Even if we were guilty, we'd never think of anything as stupid as that.
Stupid, dear. One of my best murders was the electric heater in the bathtub.
Here, I'll type for you. Wait, darling.
Yes, dear.
By some odd chance you didn't rig this, did you?
Jessica?
I was just asking. Martini. There, Mildred. It's all yours.
Well, it was a good idea.
Use it sometime.
A Night of Horror. Mildred?
It was rigged.
Is she dead?
She must be. Everyone else is. Dead as a doornail. Oh, I always hated that line.
Well, the murderer knew it would kill her. No one else would type the letter Z.
She short-circuited the typewriter, too.
Well, at least she went out writing. That's rather poetic justice.
My God.
What's the matter?
And it's you.
I was just thinking the same thing about you.
Why did you do it?
I didn't.
You must have. I didn't.
Of course you did. There's no one else but me, and I didn't do it.
You're suffering pangs of remorse. That's good for you.
I'm not crying because of any pangs.
Well, then why?
Because this is the first time you've ever kept anything from me.
I haven't kept a thing from you.
What do you call 6 murders? Nothing? Our whole marriage is over. It was based on trust and understanding and mutual faith, and now you've lied to me.
Well, I could say the same thing about you.
No, you couldn't. I'm innocent.
So am I.
I don't believe you.
Look at me. Look at this face.
I always loved that face. Even the peculiar parts of it.
What peculiar parts?
Well, I mean, your nose isn't what it should be, and one eye is different from the other.
Oh, I like that. Here, after all these years, I've never complained about you through all your hair colors.
I was only trying to please you.
You could always tell when I was lying. Now look at me. I did not commit those beastly murders.
I believe you. Oh, wait, darling, I believe you.
Now tell me something.
What?
Why did you commit them?
I didn't. I swear I didn't. I swear on our next royalty check.
Honestly?
Cross my heart and hope to... No, I take that back. I didn't say that.
Well then, if we didn't do it, and there's nobody else here except for dead people, we may have finally come upon the perfect crime.
I always said it could be committed.
We should celebrate.
The wine.
Excellent. Oh, I hope it's a good year.
I do feel rather a fool, darling, having suspected you.
Oh, think nothing of it. I suspected you.
Well, what are we going to do now? Sit here drinking until the lunch comes?
We'll be delightfully tipsy.
Whit, how can I keep a happy outlook on our work after tonight?
Well, this might help.
Well, it's bound to.
To our greatest mystery yet to come.
That wasn't a good year at all.
That wasn't even a good month.
Do you think it was made from grapes or onions?
Bitter and acrid, that's what it tastes like. Where have I read that before?
Well, you wrote it in The Poisoned Corpse, remember?
Oh, that's right. The wine was bitter and acrid. Jess,
Wit.
the murderer knew we would drink this.
Damn!
Don't be upset, darling. We're going together.
Well, it's not that. It's just we don't know who did it.
Oh, that is rather upsetting.
It's like turning the last page of a mystery book and having it say, guess who?
Perhaps we'll find out in that great library in the sky.
Do you think they'll have all our books?
Bound in gold leaf.
And we'll pick up the Times and be at the top of the bestseller list every Sunday morning.
Oh, heavenly.
Exactly.
But I can't wait to find out. I want to know who did it now.
Well, so do I, darling. So do I.
What's that?
Oh, wait, someone's coming. We'll get our last wish. We'll get to see who did it.
Oh, I'm too tired to turn my head.
Will you quit dragging your feet and hurry up?
Here I am!
Jocelyn Summers!
Oh, what a bore.
Don't you like it?
It's been done to death. The first one killed is the murderer.
I could have swore you were dead when we carried you upstairs.
I was.
I loathe science fiction.
Jocelyn Summers is dead, but I am Ginny Summers.
This is even worse. Her twin sister, I assume?
That's correct.
Dirty pool. Oh, such dirty pool.
After you two are gone, I shall have done it. The perfect crime.
But why?
Because my sister Jocelyn always had everything and I had nothing.
Oh, I abhor speeches like this.
Ugh, explanatory, and they're always long and boring.
Hear me out. When Jocelyn told me of her plan to bring you here, and how she had written the greatest mystery script that had ever been written.
I know. You thought you'd do her one better.
So you committed the real crimes.
How'd you know?
We write these things.
We used to write them. Wit, I can't take any long speeches. I'm going now.
But it's my right to say something. Every murderer gets a chance to tell how they did it, step by step.
Not this time, old girl. Sorry to leave you, but that's the way the ball bounces.
But I have so much to say. My murders. I have made history. I've committed the ultimate crime. It's the perfect mystery.
Oh, I don't think so.
It doesn't have any punch at the end.
Rewrite. It needs a tremendous
I think it's excellent.
No. Miss Summers, you don't know anything about it. We are the experts. Come back in now.
The suspense is terrific.
But the characters aren't any good.
You can't combine all those styles into one coherent work.
I heard everything off stage.
If we could bring Jack Clubb in after the first murder.
Oh.
Jack Clubb is out. He was good in his time.
But what if we made him a man from the CIA?
Oh, people are tired of that, aren't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ronnie, darling, they still think we're on the island.
You don't, do you?
Of course they do. We told them we were moving from the studio to the island, and then we turned off the lights and then turned them back on, and then naturally they thought we were on the island.
Just because we said so.
Of course.
You have been a fabulous audience. Trifle gullible, but fabulous.
If we work any longer, we're going into overtime. The union says
I'm
that...
well aware of the union. I'll write you out a check immediately.
I hope you were pleased with our work.
Oh, you were marvelous, darling.
Oh, when you finish the script, can we audition for the parts?
Of course.
We won't pay above scale.
I'll have to talk to my agent.
We don't want to keep the audience here any longer, do we?
Oh, heavens no. They'd be bored to death with the rewrites.
Oh, so thank you for coming tonight. It's been a big help, your reactions and all. See, before we came here, we got together at that restaurant across the way and decided this would be the best thing to do, to pretend we were really on the island. Everyone liked it, even Jocelyn Summers, and she did turn in a reasonably good performance.
I used to do a little community theater work.
Do you think we've given them their money's worth?
Of course, darling. 8 murders? What did they expect? World War III?
So go home now and don't worry about a thing. Murder's all in books and stories. Can't happen here.
What's that?
Over there. Oh, there she is.
It's poison! In the refreshments, poison!
Glad we stayed backstage.
I know who did it.
Who is it?
It was.
Yes,
Yes.
Don't you dare say another word.
What are you doing?
Don't let her give away the ending. This is the real crime. This is our script. All we have to do is figure out who did it.
Jack Club looked for a beautiful woman.
I wonder if she has any secret plans on her.
Poison is always useful, but what kind? Something rare, I hope.
We'd best have a martini and discuss this.
We've got to get another murder from somewhere.
This isn't in my contract!
We're going into overtime.